Is picking winners. It's JBC. It's Stats. I'm Holden. We've got the 10 games NFL that we'll talk about. We're going to talk about betting on the NFL DK slate, the main slate. And then we got 5 really good college football games that we'll talk about from the betting side. LSU, Mizzou. We got the Red River rivalry. 12th ranked Oklahoma and 5th ranked Texas. That'll be a good one. Kentucky and Georgia, as Kentucky has lost 13 straight to UGA. Notre Dame, Louisville, and then Bama and Texas A&M. I will say this, and Easy Money's giving me shit, and I deserve it. I need my own bets channel so I can post 6 straight losers instead of spamming your channel. Can we do that? Can you make Holden bets or fade chat? Yeah. Can you do that for me? No? Okay, that's fine. I did lose the Brian Robinson props, but I did win Employee of the Month for the second time. So I'm pretty excited about this. Employee of the Month. Thank you, Kevin Fallick. He's going to send me another plaque. Very, very much looking forward to that. And the last thing I wanted to bring up before we turn it over to you, what the hell are you wearing there? Is that like, because I tailed your soccer plays for the first time today. And I'm thinking that's like the Dutch 8th league, maybe like a youth league that we can bet on. Who's Carling?
No, Carling is the sponsor. It's a beer.
Okay.
This is Rangers FC, Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay. Stats, you a soccer guy?
Only when I'm betting it, but it's actually a great sport. It's a fun sport when you're betting it. It's terrible when you're not betting it. But yeah, you gotta know that in soccer or European, footy, as we call it, they don't put the name.
As we call it.
They don't put the name across the jersey, so it's always a sponsor.
Yeah, you get the crest, baby.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, can you bet on 12 to 14-year-old Dutch leagues?
Oh,
for
sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it's doing. I'll just look later. I just know you had the nut core last night. I mean, obviously we could have flipped DJ Moore for Justin Fields, but had a lot of good lineups is what I'd say, JBC.
Yeah. I didn't have the one that hit like Tony did, the DJ Moore captain with Fields, but
yeah,
could have easily gone that way. Just, it is what it is.
Hey, before we even get into that, he's on a hot streak. You're on a hot streak. Do I just blind tail Jacksonville plus 5.5 at this point?
No, I like the Bills.
Oh, now I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted.
Yeah,
Which hot streak are we riding, Stats?
I like Buffalo too. I don't get that one.
Yeah, I don't understand what Tony's doing there.
All right, let me text him right now. What the fuck are you doing with? That's what I'm going to text him right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing backing the Jaguars on Sunday?
Yeah, agreed.
Sunday morning in London. God
He's
damn
thinking
it.
to himself, oh, they're spending the whole week in London. I don't give a fuck.
Is that his thing? Do you think that's his argument?
Well, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I think that's what a lot of people, the sharp money I've seen a lot of sharp guys on Buffalo. I think the public is generally buying into the.
Yeah, you're looking at me right here. Sharp guy, Buffalo.
Well, you're one of them. I'm lumping you in with some other sharp guys.
I can't lose any more money.
That's probably a lot of people.
Holden, how are you losing money? All I've done is
I bet Brian Robinson last night like a jackass.
Water and like shoving your head in the water.
That's what I did. Well, last night was just a bad night. I've been good this season.
Did you take the over?
Set me back.
Did you take the over?
Yeah.
I you know what the worst part is? I bet both of your bets and I put them in a parlay. So I won those. But I lost so much on Brian Robinson that it's still horrible.
The game script did you no favors there. He was not on the beautiful second half.
See, I wasn't doing game script. We don't bet on game script.
I know, but because you don't know the games, you don't know what's going to go like.
We had it on the money line too.
The Bears are going to win. I'm not thinking the Bears are going to be up 30-3.
That's what I told you in chat. I'm like, dude, 27-3 at halftime. Like, I did not see that coming. So whatever. Doubled down and won 10.5. What does that mean? I went. I did. I bet. And on top of that, I backed Washington plus 10.5. So now my live bet win from Philadelphia last week is completely washed out because of that. So thanks for reminding me, MN.
I thought halftime there was value in the Washington money line.
It was,
and the money line though, and it really almost came in. We were just talking about that pick six happens, which really was just on his fingertips. You have a shot there. We like the Chicago money line though going into the game. I mean, we said it on last night's show.
All right,
and the over just looked The over looked too easy. I mean, I still think it looked too easy. I hate when it looks too easy, but it was. The over were really in doubt. That game was going over from the get-go.
Dan's right. We did ignore the. I ignored the Dick
Death narrative.
Anybody else dying on Sunday that we can?
Who can we pull off the ventilator on Sunday?
Who's on their deathbed? Is my question.
Like Jim Kelly.
Oh, come on, settle down with Jim Kelly. But yeah, I mean Jim Kelly, he did have the mouth cancer, so I don't know. You know, I'm not. So here's what I just texted Tony. He got back to me. I said, "Why the fuck are you betting Jacksonville?" And he goes, "I like money."
You like betting against Josh Allen. You don't like money.
You want? Hold on, I got Josh Allen. Let me give you this. I got this number here somewhere. So Josh Allen, after coming back against a team that he's lost to straight up, and they lost, I guess, the last time to Jacksonville, is 21-13. So there you go. There's
against the spread or straight up
against the spread. 21-13 against the spread.
Fuck me.
So he needs to see them once before he
needs
like
to see
seeing a pitcher more than one time through the order.
Well, it's actually a good angle. Like a lot of the better quarterbacks, like off of a loss, straight up loss to a team, they come back and against
the thing about Josh Allen is that doesn't like the better quarterbacks are usually like really smart, and he does not strike me as being like particularly intelligent.
Well, Wyoming's one of the finer institutions in the country, isn't it?
Yeah, all those geniuses out in Wyoming.
All right. So here, I don't think Tony's watching. I said you versus JBC. He's on Buffalo. I'm going to tail you. So I'm going to put all the pressure on Tony right now. Tony, and then I'm going to tail your picks. I'm going to tail your picks.
It's not the right idea.
He's not on the right end. He's not on the right side. Oh, Jason, I'm shook, man. After last, I'm not even kidding. I'm completely shook. Better mood tonight. The lady took care of me last night. Here's the other thing. It's fucking 70 degrees in my house. She turned the heat on, guys. This is not good. This is not acceptable. 64 degrees, 64 to 67 is where the house should be. There's no heat.
Like 70 degrees. What are you talking about?
You like 70 in your house?
I'm from Georgia.
Oh, God. What part?
Atlanta.
What school? What school?
Well, high school or college?
Yeah, high school.
Norcross.
Okay. I almost went to Pope.
Yeah. We talked about this.
We did talk about that.
You're a private school douchebag.
That is not private school. It's a public school. There's no way I went there.
It was private.
Recently new sub to the bets, enjoying it so much. JBC is a beast. Let's fucking go. Ace King Trader. So that's great. 69 is the optimal, Dan. Dan's 78 degrees. What are you, anorexic?
That's my
college. Where'd you go, Stats? Stats just left us. He just bolted, dude. And it wasn't even me. Hold on a second.
I wonder if his power went out.
You think his power went out?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, that would suck. Yeah, dude. I can't do it. It's got to be between 64 and 67 in the house. And she turned on the heat, and I'm completely tilted. I'm like, I was pissed off from last night. Why are you doing this to me? But
yeah.
Do we start without?
I lived in a high rise with the guy that said 78 degrees when I was 22, 23. So I can confirm that he's telling the truth.
During the summertime, like if you want to get up to 75, 77, I'll do it. 78's a lot, man.
That is a lot. No, fuck that.
That's if you want to leave the doors open, get a nice fresh breeze. Yeah, I think something's wrong with Stats. So we're gonna have to roll on our own, buddy. I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay without him, but
are you dead? Enter.
Okay. Let me know what he says there. Because if he doesn't get back to you, should we assume he's dead?
Yes.
We saw Stats die live.
I saw him die. I watched him. He's done.
Picking winners. All right. 70 degrees, Joe. All right. What's the perfect temperature in the house? Let's do that. And while you do that, listen to the show.
71's okay.
I think 67's perfect during the winter. Just 67. Put a RPS beanie on, winter hat, do something else. It's really not that much.
John, his power went out, like I fucking said.
Stevers. Have I seen a different angle on the play? They said Moore stepped out of bounds. Well, yeah, he would have had a bigger game there. They didn't have cameras.
What?
They didn't have the camera angle that they ran back during the
No,
game.
I was watching it on mute. I wasn't like.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it because they didn't. Usually there's 1.5 million camera angles. Whatever happened on Prime last night, they didn't have it.
That's
so
Amazon. No money, clearly.
All right. College first today. Change it up.
I mean, we could.
You want to? All right. I'll go college first with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you very much, Jason, for the interest in the college. 23rd ranked LSU visiting 21st ranked Mizzou. LSU 3-2, Mizzou 5-0, 64.5 total. JBC, Mizzou 5.5 point dogs at home. LSU playing their third road game in 4 weeks, 4th nationally in total yards per game, 6th in passing. And then they switched things up defensively, huh? They went a 3-3-5 against the Rebels. I think there's going to be a lot of adjustments in this game. JBC, decide the total here. Can you make a case for LSU?
Yeah, I mean, I like LSU in this game because I think Missouri, they've won a lot of games that were pretty tight. And, I think their season easily could have gone a lot worse than it's gone so far. And LSU, on the other hand, the couple like the Florida State game, it was looking tight at the beginning, and then a couple things went against their way, and it was just like a snowball effect. Then what happens last week? It's just I think LSU is a significantly better team than Missouri and should be laying more than a touchdown.
Okay, so that's the first one. Yeah.
Also, their team captain, if you want to talk narratives, their team captain had a brain tumor removed, and I think that he's like a vegetable now or something. Like it's messed up. So they could be motivated to destroy.
Your doctoral analysis is a vegetable.
No, but that the thing about the team captain is true. I'm kidding about that actually being a reason to bet on him.
All right, so he's not a vegetable, or he is?
I mean, no, he is.
Oh, it's a horrible story, man, especially on the backs of Dick Butkus. So you gotta back LSU now. I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, second game of 5. Red River rivalry, I should say, played in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, in the middle of the State Fair of Texas. You ever been to a state fair, JBC?
Oh yeah, dude, of course. I've been in Georgia and I've been in Michigan.
First and only time I ever had a deep fried candy bar was the Iowa State Fair.
Iowa, what?
Iowa. First of all, they literally grease up pigs and they put adults and children in a pen and have them try and catch it. Saw like a 5 or 6 year old kid just get destroyed by a pig.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, so DraftKings last year for one of the Onyx giveaways for like the end of the year, they let you like select like a gift, right?
Uh-huh.
One of the things you could choose was go to Ireland and go truffle hunting, where you like and I didn't know this until then. You like get a pig, and the pig is like trained to sniff out truffles. And so you like go out and like the pig leads you to the truffles and you pull them out. Like that's how you farm truffles.
I see. I missed a lot.
You did. You missed a lot.
Yeah, we're getting into the truffle hunting.
We started with college. He's talking about vegetables. I'm talking about state fairs. It was a lot, Stats. Real quick, though, have you ever been to a state fair, Stats?
Never been to a state fair, no.
New Yorkers don't go to state
I grew up in a state that I assume they had a state fair somewhere, but New York City doesn't have
New York State Fair is just like mafia people taking shots.
No, New York State and New York City are two different places.
Yeah, totally.
Like New York State, I don't know what goes on in New York State. I just know what goes on in New York City. Once you get past Westchester, it's a foreign country.
Have you ever been to Buffalo, John?
Yeah.
Have I ever what?
Have you ever been to Buffalo?
No, I've never been to Buffalo.
Buffalo's
Western New York.
I know it is. I know how far away it is.
Yeah, you might as well. It's like I've been to Pittsburgh, but
I'm from Atlanta. I've been to Savannah.
Yeah, because Savannah's nice.
That's true. Buffalo.
I must say,
what's the point to go to Buffalo? Like, who wants to go to Buffalo unless you're going to go to a game and then you get the hell out of there as fast as you can?
Niagara Falls. I've seen Buffalo 2 times.
Yeah, you go to the Canadian side.
Here's
Dan on the Canadian side.
Dan saying it's weird once you get past Yonkers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, not really. Like Westchester's got like really nice areas, but yeah, like once you get past there, it's like it's not New York. I don't know what goes on up there.
Yeah. Well, we've been to state fairs. There's a Texas State Fair at the Red River rivalry. Stats is how we got into this. And I was at the Iowa State Fair, and I got to the Colorado State Fair. I'm bummed with state fairs. It's the worst. You're not missing anything. I'll just tell you that.
I don't know what it is.
Don't have alcohol, which sucks.
no state fairs have alcohol?
No, mine, the ones that I've been to haven't had it.
What's the point?
That's what dude, because it's supposed to appeal to children, I guess. I don't fucking know.
No.
Yeah, well, the more children there, the more alcohol the adults need.
That's valid. But, I'm from the South, dude. They have weird laws and shit. I don't know.
Metro Boom, fried peach cobbler on a stick.
Fuck yeah.
That actually sounds good.
That doesn't sound bad at all.
Metro Boom 808.
I had a fried Snickers in Iowa, and Stats, you missed it. They grease up pigs and they have the people try to chase around.
Hunting conversation.
No, like in New York, you have like the San Gennaro feast. You have like the Italian feast. They're basically the same thing, except it's just a food thing. In Little Italy, in Brooklyn, you got the 18th Avenue Festival. So yeah, that's good food.
I'd rather be anywhere else on earth.
No, those are great because the food's fantastic. You eat the Zeppelis, which I can't have anymore. Some sausage and peppers. That's all you go for.
You got thrown in the accent when you talk about it, the sausage and peppers.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's the only way you get it across.
That is the worst New York accent I ever heard in a while. What the hell was that?
That was terrible.
So like you're from Delaware.
What the fuck?
No, you're right, Stevers. The state fairs, they just sell animals to kill them.
But also like petting the animals is fun.
I agree. I'm going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow. They make fun of me all the time. I love the pumpkin patch.
Like, oh, this is an alpaca.
Yeah, they're gonna have alpacas tomorrow. JBC, I stayed in an alpaca farm for a vacation this summer. It was amazing. Amazing.
What?
One of the greatest experiences of my life.
What made you choose to do that?
My girl, she's like, let's just go out in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, and do it. And it was close to where Lauren Boebert was from. So I'm like, all right, but we have to go to Rifle, Colorado, because I think this is hot and batshit crazy.
Yeah.
We went, we didn't see her, but we stayed with the llamas.
Oh, the video from the with her and her
Beetlejuice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
So hot. She's so hot.
Dude.
Oh. All right, let's get back to football. Anyways, did you have a play in the LSU game? Stats. We talked about the first one, LSU Mizzou.
Oh, we're going college football.
Yeah. Jason said let's switch it up, so we're switching it up. Buddy.
Switching it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I like LSU in the game. The public's on Missouri. I'm going with LSU. I think Daniels, he's coming off that big game, 4 touchdowns, 414.
Plus the vegetable angle.
What's that?
Their team captain. He got a brain tumor removed, and now he's a vegetable.
So that's a motivating factor.
I don't know. I don't know if he's a vegetable. They said that he had some motor function after the tumor was removed.
Okay. We're just going to move on from the first game. We're going to go to Red River Rivalry. My fault for bringing up the state fair. That's all I can say.
That's brain tumor narrative. That's right. Brain tumor narrative.
Brain tumor narratives. Fried candy narrative.
Dick Butkus brain tumor parlay is about to rip.
Oh, goodness gracious. We're going to hell if there is one. 12th ranked Oklahoma, 5th ranked Texas. Middle of the state fair at Texas Stats in Dallas, the Cotton Bowl. OU's 12th ranked team in the nation. Texas is the 5th ranked. They're both 5-0, 61 total, 5.5 point favorites for Texas. JBC, talk to me here. Do you want to back the Longhorns or the Sooners?
I like Texas. I think Texas is infinitely better than Oklahoma on defense, and the offense is comparable. I know that Oklahoma's fans pack in there, but they're still in Texas. 5 just doesn't seem like enough.
Stats?
Yeah, I mean, I would lean the Texas side. I kind of like the under a little bit more though in the game. So if I was parlaying, it would be Texas and the under. But I agree on the Texas side. I mean, they might have the best roster in the entire country. So the line seems that's actually why I'm getting off of the Texas side and I like the under more is just because that line just seems that's another too good to be true. 5.5 seems too low a line. I think this should probably be more than a touchdown. I mean, Texas outscored Kansas and Alabama by like 33 combined points, right? So, and I just think we're going to see the defense here. Gabriel struggles against pressure. They're going to get a ton of pressure on him. I think the game goes under, and so I'll take the under. And if you're going to force me to take a side, I would take the Texas side.
And McConaughey on game day.
Yeah, McConaughey's. This is an unpopular opinion. His greatest movie role ever was in Wolf of Wall Street.
I'm more of a Fool's Gold rom-com kind of dude.
Never seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
I like the what was the AIDS movie?
The AIDS movie.
Is this a premium or a free show? Because
I know exactly what you're about the AIDS movie where he won Best Actor.
Not the Tom Hanks AIDS movie.
No, the AIDS movie. Oh fuck, what's it called?
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club.
That's it.
And the game is in Dallas.
The AIDS movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get banned.
Game is in Dallas. McConaughey's gonna be there, and Texas -5.
Oh no! Please tell me this is not a free show. It is.
We're gonna get a CDC warning on this one.
This is not good. What was the HBO show though? With McConaughey and Harrelson. That was a great show. True Detective.
True Detective.
The other 2 seasons sucked. That was a great show. Was a great show. Oh God, the AIDS.
That's what it is, though. It's the AIDS movie.
It was about the drug. Listen, it was a great movie, and I thought if you play an AIDS patient, you get the Academy Award, don't you? Didn't Tom Hanks get the Academy Award for Philadelphia?
Yeah.
John, that was the AIDS movie.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is the AIDS movie.
I thought you were talking about the AIDS movie. It was the Lakers show on HBO.
Oh, Jesus. It took us 5 weeks to get too comfortable with each other, and this is now what is happening. Hit the like button for anything you've heard so far, and if you don't like the show, continue to hit the like button anyways, because we need it here. Kentucky, 20th ranked team in the nation, visiting the top ranked Georgia Bulldogs, 47.5 total. UGA 14.5 point favorites. Both teams 5-0 here. Dogs on a 22-game win streak, JBC, 13 straight over Kentucky. But Ray Davis had that 280-yard rushing performance. Interesting. Does Kentucky have a chance to at least cover?
I think so. Georgia's offense really has shown me nothing, like at all. And we had this exact same spread last week on the Georgia game. And frankly, they fucking should have lost, and they barely eked it out. And Auburn covered easily. I could see the exact same thing happening. Georgia's offense has looked terrible. Their defensive line has been terrible. They're hanging on by a thread, but the issue is the whole SEC sucks. So Georgia, frankly, probably still gets to the playoff, but I don't know that they're going to get much further.
Stats, you want anything with a side or total here in this game? Kentucky, Georgia?
I mean, Georgia struggled against the run. They've been pretty good against the pass, but I think Kentucky is going to, Kentucky's been offensively kind of that's been their strong suit. They've been able to run, but the passing game has been terrible. So I think this is just going to be a grinded out. Both teams are going to be running the ball. I like the under, and I think because of that, I'll take the 14.5 points. I agree. It's a similar situation that we had with Georgia last week. Like you're getting more than 2 touchdowns with a fairly low total. I'll take the dog plus the under.
Fighting Irish, 10th ranked team in the nation, visiting 25th ranked Louisville. It is a 5-1 Irish team against a 5-0 Louisville club. 54 total. Notre Dame -6.5 JBC. Sam Hartman, how about this guy? 14 TDs, 145 attempts, no picks this season. And Notre Dame, of course, coming off that 7-point win against Duke. Do the Irish cover the 6.5?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically the same game as last week. Louisville and Duke are comparable. Notre Dame's laying a similar number. I took Notre Dame last week. They covered. Taking Notre Dame this week again. I think they're just a much better team. Stats?
You got anything?
Yeah, it's another one that kind of scares me because it's like I think this needs to be more than a touchdown on the spread. So you're getting the 6.5, and it's like, why haven't they moved this to 7 yet? The public's been all over Notre Dame. So it's kind of it's leading me to the I don't want to bet this game at all, but if I had to, I would take Notre Dame. Notre Dame definitely looks like the better side, but I'm a little surprised they haven't been able to get this one up to 7. So I'd be curious what JBC thinks about that. Like that, the line is still sitting at 6.5 when most of the money seems to be coming in on the Notre Dame side.
Well, the same thing happened last week, and the difference is the line last week never got that up to 6.5 or 7. This week, right. You saw it get to 7 for a little bit, and every time it's gotten to 7, people have come in on Louisville. So that's disconcerting, but
that's what I was figuring. I figure in the sharp, like there's probably sharp money out there that just wants to get to 7.
If you look like, for instance, it's circa 2 days ago, earlier in the week, this was like on Tuesday, I'm looking at, it got to 7 for 20 minutes. And then It got to 7 again for like a couple hours, and then that was it.
So there's definitely some resistance at the 7. So there's cash coming in. Basically, that's
being defended.
That's sharp money coming in at the 7. So that's where I'm worried about with the game. So I mean, I would lean towards the Notre Dame side, but this is like a no play for me, really.
The exact same thing happened with the total, open to 53.5. It comes down to 51, then all the way back to 54.
Right.
Okay. Here's the deal. Like button would be great. Just got news. RPS 15% off your first payment at Run Pure. You can take the bet side. You can take the DFS side. You can combine them, DFS and bets. Bet side is on fire right now. DFS side, pretty damn good night. Not just the coordinators winning. We've got a lot of screenshots in our Discord. So again, RPS 15% off first payment on any plan here at Run Pure. We still got a couple college games. And then, guys, I think we should touch on the 2 games tonight. But we'll start with Bama at A&M. So Bama's the 11th ranked team in the nation. Texas A&M unranked. Both teams 4-1. JBC, the total's 46. Bama -2. Aggies did win last year in Tuscaloosa. And by the way, they've got Bobby Petrino on their sidelines. That should be. I mean, I'm disgusted. Disgusted. What a sick bastard.
Okay, that's aggressive. But I think
that's the most disingenuous
that
you've ever heard.
He's a disingenuous bastard.
Yeah, what? I just think that this line, anything below 3, go with Alabama. You know, I just don't see why they wouldn't be. You know, like it opened at 4, and then when it came beneath 3, it keeps getting bet back up. But yeah, I mean, at 2.5, Alabama. At 3.5, don't play it.
Stats, do you want to break the game down or talk Bobby Petrino? It's up to you.
No, I mean, I like Alabama here as well. I mean, getting it under the field goal, I'll take it. You know, I think the questions at quarterback, I think, are going to be answered, and that maybe have been answered already. I think most of the mistakes that he had were in that Texas game. And I think we talked about Texas. Just they're such a dominant front 7. I don't think the A&M front 7 is nearly as good as the Texas front 7. So they won't get the kind of pressure on him that they did in that game. So I think Alabama outside of that Texas game has been pretty solid. So I'll take them minus the 2.5. I just think it's a better roster up and down, and getting them less than a field goal here, I think. Look, again, another one that looks too good to be true, but I'll take it.
Hey, JBC, I see you got a couple picks in the Discord, so I'll just bring this up real quick. We got 2 games tonight. Then you got picks for Kansas State, Oklahoma State, 53 total. Oklahoma State plus 11.5 in Stillwater at Boone Pickett Stadium. And Nebraska, Illinois, both teams 2-3, 42.5 total in Champaign. 3-point favorites for the Illini. What do you like from these 2 games?
I like Kansas State in the first game. Oklahoma State is fucking terrible. That's basically the entire logic there. They've been so bad, and I just don't. They're going to get killed. And then the other game, Nebraska, Illinois, both very bad on offense, decent on defense, and I think with a total that low and 2 teams that kind of evenly matched, 3.5 is you're basically getting a coin flip, but you're getting points. Take the points.
So take the points in Nebraska. Okay. Stats, any thoughts on tonight, or we just move on?
Yeah. The only game I liked tonight was Nebraska as well. So I would jump on that. It's a trend with teams that can run the ball in low scoring games. I kind of like it in this one. It kind of fits one of the models that I look at. So I'll take Nebraska plus the 3 tonight.
Okay. And you got nothing on Kansas State?
No, nothing for me on that one.
Okay. Very good. It's time to tail. It's time to tail, boys. Let's get in on that one, and we'll keep going. Let's move on to the NFL. We got a 10-game slate on DK. For DFS, we're not going to talk much DFS here. If the guys have a couple thoughts here and there, we'll go with it. But I will say this. Yes, I got my ass kicked last night, but the Houston Texans have treated me very well, gentlemen, very, very well. And now they go to Atlanta as 1.5 dogs. The total in this game is 41. And I got to tell you, JBC, CJ Stroud's doing a lot with an offensive line that has just been mangled. He might get 2 of those guys back this week. You want to make a case for the Texans, or is this an Atlanta play?
So the game opened up at, I want to say it was
2.5
or 3, and then it got bet down, and then it came back a little. I think it got bet down to pick, and then came back to 1.5. I think that a lot of people are taking Houston based on Atlanta's travel schedule coming back from London. I just think that this whole narrative on Houston and how good they are has gotten a little out of control. Atlanta has a very elite defense, top 5 or 6 in the league, and them only being a 1.5 point favorite against Houston, I like Atlanta.
Okay. Stats, you got a thought here, side or total?
I mean, when I first looked at it, I really liked I like Houston also. I like the public does, not also as in JBC as he likes the other side, but I understood where the public was coming from. I mean, I still kind of like it. I like Houston in the game. I agree. Atlanta's defense is probably better than people are giving them credit for. I just think the thing that scares me is exactly why JBC is on the other side, and that's there's a little bit of a hoopla here around the Houston offense, like because when you don't expect something and then it happens, especially with a rookie, there tends to be a little bit of an overreaction. So I'm a little concerned that there's an overreaction in this game. I mean, this would have been, the preseason. I don't remember where the preseason line was on this game, but it's way different from where it is now. And you've got to factor in like how much better, how many points better are Houston right now than we thought before the year. And I think when you figure that number out, it's probably being overvalued from where they are. So it's a lot of talking to basically say, I'm not going to be betting this game, but my lean would still be Houston. But the fact that JBC likes the other side gives me even more pause. So, but I don't like the game at all.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I already bet Houston at 2.5, but whatever. Now there's 2 games I'm going against JBC. One because of Tony and one because of myself. All right. I know. Listen, it's my fault. It's my fault.
You do this to yourself, Holden.
I do it to myself. Carolina at the Lions is our nenext game. This thing hit 10 at a couple places this week, quickly moved back to 9.5. Detroit, 9.5 point favorites at home. 44.5 the total. Yeah, Detroit at home. This is more Carolina just being a bad football team, right, JBC?
I agree. Being a Carolina fan, they've shown me nothing to show that they should even be on the same field with Detroit. It's the same thing as last week where, we were all over Minnesota. Minnesota makes like 500 mistakes at the beginning of the game, pick 6, and they still end up covering. It's Detroit, and that's why you saw the spread go up from 8 to 10 like instantaneously. Is Carolina is one of those situations where, as Tony likes to say, you can't set the number high enough. I'd lay whatever with Detroit.
What are you laying? You laying with Detroit here? Stats?
I can't lay the points here. I'm taking Carolina. I'm taking Carolina plus 10. I got it at the 10. So I think if you can get the 10, you take it. You could still, I think BetMGM still has it at plus 10.
Points bet. I use unabated, by the way. Great site if you're looking for updated lines. Points bet has it at 10 minus 10.
Yeah, so I still like the 10 minus 10. I mean, I know it doesn't seem that way on paper. Obviously, there's a reason they're a double-digit dog in this game. They haven't played well, but just the numbers that I'm looking at, the models that I have are telling me Carolina. It's hard for me to make a case for it, and I could lie to you and give you a whole bunch of other things other than the fact that I'm going with my numbers and the plus 10. But you got to get 10. You can't get the 9.5 on this one.
Smokestack. Carolina needs to start Dalton.
Well, the problem is, it's like, what are you playing for? Like,
nothing.
What's your future with Dalton? Like, yeah, you're going to win more games, but you're not going to the playoffs, right? Teams have to do what's best for the team in general, and the best thing for the team is let Young play and hope you can develop it into a crime. It's only a handful of games. I mean, it takes a while for most quarterbacks to develop.
Huh?
Frank Reich, he sucks.
The thing that's interesting was the report yesterday that they're looking for a wide receiver 1, and they had a guy that went for 600 yards last night. What are they doing?
Well, didn't they have to get rid of wide receivers in order to get Young?
Yeah, they had to trade more in order to get Young.
I know, but now they're looking for one. They got a pretty good one.
Everybody would be saying that trade was genius if they had picked Stroud,
Of course, yeah, maybe, but
or Richardson.
the last thing you need to do when you it's not you don't need the wide receivers. You need guys to block for these young quarterbacks, and then the quarterback will be able to develop.
Has not been the O line though. Like I don't know.
All right. Tennessee and the Colts. You want a rotation number 457, 458? Does that make you feel like you're at home again?
Yeah, now I can remember what game we're talking about.
That is some old school shit right there. Tennessee open as 1-point favorites on the road at Indianapolis, okay? 43 and a half is the total. You can get both. I'm seeing a 42 and a half at FanDuel. Wow. That is a low number. JBC, I know everybody thinks the Titans suck. They're starting to run the ball a little bit. For the Colts, Richardson's out there. He was Jekyll and Hyde. First half, complete garbage. Second half came out and lit it up against the Rams. What do you want to do here?
It's basically the same spot as last week. I think that, the Tennessee and the Rams are comparable. And the Colts, Richardson's a little overhyped based on how he's performed the first few weeks. That game against Baltimore, he wasn't playing. It's not like he won that game. And, it's a similar, it's exactly like the game against the Rams, and it's very much like the Atlanta game as well. You're getting, essentially a line under 3, taking a better team to win against a young quarterback. I like Tennessee a lot, and the market has gone that way.
Well, at least we're agreeing on one, so you might be a little bit nervous about that. Stats, Tennessee, you want to back them? It's 2.5 now. It was 1.
Yeah, 2.5. I think you're gonna. I don't know if it gets to 3, but I like Tennessee under the 3 as well. So I'll take them minus 2.5. And I love Richardson. I think there's a lot of good signs here.
John's a body guy. He's a body guy.
I am a body guy. So no, I like Richardson DFS. I like what he's shown. I mean, so we'll see. But yeah, Tennessee. I think I've had Tennessee now. This might be all 5 weeks so far this year that I've taken them. Didn't work out well in the blowout loss, but yeah, Tennessee. I think I like the coach. I like there's something about that team that seems to outperform what the metrics show every single week, every year for the last few years. Again, I think you're getting some value here because the Colts have looked pretty good with the young quarterback. They're the sexier team than Tennessee, so I think you got value getting them under. They've just basically got to win this game, and I think they do. They are definitely the better team. So I'll take Tennessee minus 2.5.
I think Vrabel makes them whip out their dicks in the locker room before the game just to get pumped up. That's the part you're not seeing.
What if you got a teeny weenie though? Then what does that do for you?
Matter. It just fires you up.
Interesting. Never thought about that angle. Let me ask you a betting theory thing though, because again, there's a lot of guys that bet the spread and the money line. JBC, do you bet the spread and the money line a lot if you like, especially a dog? Yeah, always.
I mean, well, last night that situation presented itself, So yeah. We said it on the show last night. Like I thought the money line was a better play than the spread. I mean,
especially high scoring games. If you're betting a dog, you want to partition more toward the money line, just because the more scoring there is in the game, the more variance there will be in the final score. So you want to bet the spread on a favorite or the money line on a dog in that circumstance.
Okay. Next game, the Gigantes, the Giants, coming off another embarrassing loss, visiting the Miami Dolphins, gentlemen, and the Dolphins are coming off a nasty, nasty loss. Boy, this line is now 12 and a half at some places. The local headline was 6.5. Then it went to 11.5. Now I'm seeing 12 and a half. This is ridiculous. All right. So Miami at home against Daniel Jones, total sitting pretty solid at 47. I'm seeing 12 and a half, 13 JBC. Very uncomfortable about both sides of this game. So please tell me what to do.
I mean, typically this is exactly like the Carolina game, where the Giants have been so inept that it's very difficult it's difficult to see them putting up much of a fight. And it's also very easy to see a path where the Dolphins just run up the fucking score like crazy with how powerful they are on offense. So, I would never fade like a giant line move like that. Like I've got no interest in the Giants, but I mean, I'm not betting this game, but I definitely lean toward Miami.
Stats, it is a big number if we go with a dozen.
Yeah, I mean I think we kind of missed the value here at the 9.5. The sharp money came in at 9.5, pushed this between the sharps and the public. That's what's really pushed this all the way up to the 12.5. I don't know if you could bet this at minus 12.5, to be honest. Maybe you just take it at an alt. If you really like Miami, maybe you take it at an alt line and look for some plus money and take it at like minus 20 or something like that. But yeah, I just don't like the game. Normally, very rare am I laying double digits. So I'm usually on the dog or I'm off the game. So I can't really back I can't back the Giants in this one. So I'm kind of off it. I think we lost our shot to make a bet on this one.
All right, this is the kookiest line of the week to next game. Saints at the Patriots. So I got pick'ems. I got to pick them at Caesars. I got the Patriots 1-point favorites at home on BetMGM. On PointsBet, the Saints are laying 0.5 point on the road. So whichever way you want to go with it, you can find a way to bet both sides. I wouldn't bet both sides, but you can find each side. 39.5 the total, JBC. So we're expecting an ugly one here, and nobody knows which side to favor.
I do. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched, but New England's at home.
Yep.
So they should be laying some points, and they're not. So the value is on New England. I like New England.
Stats, is it that simple?
Saints are one of my favorite plays this week. The problem is I'm just worried about the injury for Carr. So, but I love if Carr's healthy, I think you got to just keep an eye on it. I love the Saints. I think they're a much better team than New England. I don't think they're really. I much might be exaggerating, but I think they're a better defense, or at least comparable, and I just trust their quarterback more as long as he's healthy. Carr. So Saints with a healthy Carr, one of my favorite plays this week.
Okay. One of my favorite games is going to be ugly. Baltimore-Pittsburgh. So took the under with Pittsburgh-Cleveland last week. Stats, I just can't stay away from unders, and I'm going right back to it. Got it at 38.5. Now it's sitting at 38. I think that's fine. I wouldn't go to 37.5 where I'm seeing it at a couple places. JBC, Steelers are 4.5 point dogs at home, 4-point dogs at home. 38 is where the market is set with the total. Any thoughts on the total? And Kenny Pickett's playing for the Steelers. I actually think that makes them worse than Mitch Trubisky under center. I truly believe that.
I agree with that. The Steelers are the worst offense in the league by a lot. They're completely inept. They won those 2 games almost totally on schmozzing and things that if they replayed the game, they would get their ass kicked. This is my favorite bet of the week. I think Baltimore just fucking destroys them. Ooh. I don't see what Pittsburgh can possibly do unless this game is like 7-3. Otherwise, they're going to get fucking killed.
Stats, you're shaking your head. Are you with JBC on this one? Yeah, I mean, I'm with him on this one as well. I can't see Pittsburgh staying in the game. I agree with you. Trubisky's probably got a better shot than Pickett. I think Pickett is the worst quarterback worst starting quarterback in the league right now, and that's saying a lot considering some of the quarterbacks that are in the league. We've seen some atrocious quarterback play. Yeah, I mean, Baltimore, not a team that's shy to run it up. Not that they need to. They're only laying 4 here, but I think they win this game by double digits. Not a problem. I mean, people worry about divisional, rivalries. I kind of throw that out the window. Like, to me, that doesn't mean much. This is the better team. Baltimore is one of the top teams in the league against maybe the 3rd or 4th worst team in the league. I'll take my chances with just laying 4 points.
Sean V's talking about Zay Flowers. Patrick Peterson today called Zay Flowers a munchkin, because I'm looking forward to chasing that munchkin all. The only man I've ever called a munchkin was JSU, and I only did that once.
LG, JSU, LG.
I would imagine you only get to do that once.
Yeah, he said something mean to me, so I called him a munchkin, and then that was the end.
I think JSU could take you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You only get one.
Beat all 3 of us up.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no question. He's got 20 years on me. He's probably got very little body fat, and he's angry.
Well, JSU's in very good shape, and he
owns a gym.
And he trains MMA, right, or something.
He's an owner of a gym. So yeah, we're not messing with him. It's easy to call someone a munchkin.
Yeah, he scared me when he told me he gets up every day at 4:30 in the morning.
No, it's just stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. But the most successful people are the ones that Yeah, he is. He's an angry guy.
He is really angry. I don't know what he's so mad at.
We can get into that on another show. Trust me, there's a lot to get into there. Now we got the 4:00 games, and there's a couple of really sexy ones. Cincinnati and Arizona is the game we're going to start with. By the way, hit the like button. It's been such a great show. The Bengals are 3-point favorites in Glendale, Arizona. The total is 44.5. There's been no movement on these lines, JBC. None at all. And Josh Dobbs plus that Cardinals defense is making me a little bit of a believer that they keep this thing close. If you would back Arizona, would this be more backing Arizona or going against what you've seen out of Cincinnati?
I think that John made this point earlier when we were talking, I think, about the Houston game, where what do you think that you would have said if before week 1 I told you that the Bengals were only -3 here?
I'd bet the Bengals.
Right, because they probably would have been laying 10 on the look ahead line. Burrow clearly compromised, which it's tough to watch a lot of the times, but Arizona, I think we need to cool our jets a little bit on how good Arizona is. I don't see them being, they're still one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the league. Why are they only getting 3 here? I don't know. It doesn't make me feel great because Burrow's so bad right now and can't really move, but I like the Bengals, to cover the 3.
What do you think, Stats?
I agree. The word is, at least Burrow's saying that this is the best he's felt. Let's hope that's the case. But yeah, again, laying 3 here. Where's the I was just looking. I think Arizona's catching most of the money too, which makes me feel even better.
They are.
I like Cincinnati and just laying 3. Even if you have to lay a little bit more juice to get the 3 as opposed to the the 3.5. Better team. If Burrow's healthy, he's going to pick that defense apart. Even not healthy, they should be able to win this game. They beat the Rams at home on that game, played pretty well. I think the defense will keep Arizona in check. I think the total's actually a little high as well, but I like the Cincinnati side better.
Total keeps going up.
Yeah, it keeps going up. It just looks a little high to me, but the Cincinnati side, I think, is a much better.
I will say this about the Cincinnati side and the movement. Yesterday, it went to 2.5 for 20 minutes, and then immediately right back to 3. So take that for what you will.
Okay. The next one's the Rams hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is one of the higher totals out there. 50.5 is the total. The Eagles are 4-point favorites. This thing's kind of vacillated between 4.5 and 4 all week long. As far as the total goes, 49.5 to 50.5 is where it's just been sitting. JBC, Cooper Kupp could be back. We'll see about that too. If he plays, I can't imagine he's getting a full workload, but how do the Rams cover this thing? Do they cover this thing?
I think so. I think that we're still at the point where Philadelphia, especially after what we saw last week against Washington and then what we saw out of Washington last night, I think at this point, we need to just accept that Philadelphia is not as good as we thought they were, and the Rams are better than we thought they were. And so to be laying 4 on the road like that, it's just a little too much for me.
Stats, Rams at home. You could even find 4 and a hook at some places.
Yeah, you could get the 4. I think FanDuel's got it if you lay 15. But I agree. I think Philadelphia is a little overrated. They're one of the 2 4-0 teams left here. They're one of them, but pass defense has just been not good. And boy, you have to Kupp coming back. How are they going to stop those guys? That's probably, is there a better trio now at wide receiver? Probably not. Those are going to be the 3 best wide receivers, I think, collectively on any one team right now in football. Yeah, Kupp may not get the full workload, but do they even need him to get the full? Just having him out on the field, if you run half the snaps, I think is going to be really good. Because now, how do you defend it? Because you don't know what they're going to do. They never had Puka before. So now, the Ram offense was pretty much, you couldn't stop it anyway. You couldn't stop Kupp anyway, but you knew the ball was going to Kupp. Now where's the ball going? So I think they're going to put points up against Philly, and getting 4.5 at home or even the 4. I'll take that all day.
He's playing 100%. He's playing.
He's definitely playing, but how much he plays is the question.
That is. Well, what about just real quick, DFS? I know we're talking betting, but Atwell's just done now, right? If Cooper Kupp's back.
I think Cooper Kupp dips into Nakua's workload a little more than Atwell.
That's what I meant to say, Nakua. Yeah, Nakua. Nakua's priced up.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to know what they're going to do, though. Like, Cooper Kupp missed, what is it, like now a year and a half because they beat him into the ground the year they won the title. I mean, they're not going to want to just feed him the ball 15 times a game like they used to. And Nakua had that role. I think they're both end up pretty good. Like John was saying, they're going to be chucking it all over the field.
It might hurt Williams.
Yeah, it might hurt. You don't know. We need to see it.
That's a great point. Kyron's been integral in the passing game too. All right, Jets, Broncos in my backyard here in Denver. Actually, I'm 40 minutes away from the stadium, so it's not my backyard. 43.5 is the total. Broncos 2.5-point favorites at home. The Nathaniel Hackett Bowl. Ugh. Well, you know what? Talk to me about the total, because we had two shitty teams last night. Can Zach Wilson generate enough points to send this thing over 43.5?
I think so. I don't think that Denver's defense has been like historically bad. Like even if you take out the Miami game, they've been just. I don't know how Sean Payton did this, honestly. Like, how do you take a competent defense and turn it into this?
Yes.
What are you? But so as far as the total, yeah, I think that they can go. I think that they'll score enough to get over the total. But on the other hand, like as far as the spread, you're gonna bet on Zach Wilson getting under a field goal on the road? No. Broncos.
What do you got here, stats in Denver?
Yeah, the side for me is actually what you started with. I like the over in this game. So I just think it's too low at 43. I think it opened a little bit lower than this. It's moved up. I don't know how you bet an under on a defense. I know the Jet defense is one of the maybe 5 best defenses in the league. But that Denver defense, atrocious. And now and Wilson showed pretty good. Like, we know the Chief defense is pretty good. Wilson looked good. He looked good in brief.
Which Wilson?
Zach Wilson looked good in brief moments. He had a couple of good drives. He's got to take that. He's got to have some confidence going in this week now. Listen, he had the fumble that probably cost them the game, but he had some. That's probably some of the brightest spots that he's had last week against Kansas City. Had the champs on the rope. Bad call, pretty much cost them a shot to win that game. And if he could take a little bit of that confidence with him into Denver, where they have not been able to stop anybody. I don't think there's any reason that both teams don't get into the 20s here, and we get this game to the over. I would tend to lean a little bit more to the Denver side, but I just think the over is a much better play.
Couple things for you. RPS 15% off first payment on the DFS or bet side or both. Just combo them together, make a whole bunch of money. That's the way to do it. Second thing is Nate D threw up here, Gibbs for the Lions, hamstring news. That's fine. That's one thing. He's questionable. Monra St. Brown is doubtful. So again, we're talking about a wide receiver. I don't think we're moving a line very much on a wide receiver, but it's the Panthers. So if there's a week to keep them out, this would be the week, JBC.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the 50K best ball. I've got him on Raw and Gibbs. So this sucks, but yeah, I wouldn't play him if I was the Lions.
All right, Kansas City, Minnesota. Something tells me your core might have some pieces from this game, JBC. 52.5 total. I'm seeing a couple 53s. Kansas City, 3 and a hook. They're favored on the road by 3.5. That hook matters, yay or nay?
Yeah, I mean, it's still too many. I think that this is much closer to an even game than it seems. Minnesota, they win all the close game last year. They lose all the close ones this year. They looked like themselves again last week. I know it's Carolina, but, they have not struggled to put up points this year. Like, they've still been doing it. I think Minnesota will be able to score on Kansas City. I have more faith in Minnesota to score on Kansas City than I do in Kansas City to score on Minnesota.
What do you got here, stats? You want to back the Chiefs? You want to back the over? You like the Vikings? What is it?
It's funny JBC said that, because I think, like, most people are thinking you're out of your fucking mind, and I'm like, no, I actually agree with that. So I like Minnesota in this game, and I've been.
Oh, he threw in the Minnesota accent when he said that shit.
I have to it just automatically. Minnesota. I'm very good with my dialects. So no, but I like Minnesota. I agree. I think they're going to be able to put points up. The Kansas City offense hasn't been as good. I don't know if this is going to be as good a DFS game as everyone anticipates. It's the best game on paper for sure for DFS. It's easy to say. It's one game. I would put money that none of the pieces in this game wind up in the Millie Maker though.
Right. The Rams game I think is better.
Yeah, I love that. I love
okay.
But the problem in the Rams game is, from the Rams side, as we talked about, you just don't know who's going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing. So it's a little confusing offensively for the Rams with Kupp coming back, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then we got the Philly side, which is looking pretty good. AJ Brown's going up. This could be a Devontae Smith week, so you got to figure that out as well.
A situation where you get one of those really stupid Nakua and Kupp teams.
It could be.
I think that could be good.
All right. If you got any questions, get them in right now because we're about to get out of here. So I'll say, just to let everybody know what's going on at RPS. Last time I'll say this, RPS 15% off first payment, DFS side, bet side, or both. My recommendation is you just combo them together, do a little combo platter, get the best of the DFS side, you get the best of the bet side, and you just roll from there. There are bets that are being posted by JBC like all the time. There's a laundry list there. If you're not a volume bettor, it's too much for you. We got platinum picks. These are the best picks that we all came up. It's a lot shallower of a pool, but that's what you get there. And then on the DFS side, it's not just the main slate for NFL. You get Showdown as well. Our Showdown team just crushed it again last night. We've got the NBA starting up. And here's what I'll say about the NBA. NFL is by far and away my favorite. NBA is probably our best sport here. Like NBA, NFL, and baseball right up there. NBA to me is our best sport. These guys know it like no other site. And I don't just say that. There's a lot of sites that just focus on football. These guys really, really go nuts during the NBA season. So RPS 15% off your first payment. Let's get to some best bets, guys. And then we'll get out of here. JBC, give me one bet, college or pro, that you like more than anything else.
Baltimore.
Baltimore on the points. Stats?
I like Buffalo in the NFL, and if you could get 7 with Marshall in college tomorrow, I like
the
that.
College best bet this week for me is Nebraska tonight.
Nebraska.
I like Nebraska as well. Yep.
Nebraska and the points. Okay. Very good. Love it. Give me the under in the Baltimore Pittsburgh game. And that's where we're going. I can't believe we're in week 5. I still like unders here, but that's where we are. This Pittsburgh offense is just complete dog shit. It really is amazing to see how fast they've fallen off. Kenny Pickett, dude. It's bad news. All right. Check it out, guys. Like button on the way out. We'd really appreciate it. For JBC and Stats, my name is Holden, and I appreciate it if you keep running pure.